Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to give all of you students and parents also an update. So today is May the 11th, 2020, and I just wanted to talk about a few things. So first of all, several people gave me feedback on the feedback form. I also want to clarify a few items for quizzes, those quizzes online assignments. And I also just want to clarify something about the marks, okay? And so first of all, thank you to the people that did the science work feedback form, okay? And so even if you haven't done this yet, I think there were 5 responses out of about 14 students. And feel free also parents, if you're able to, I'm not sure if you're able to, but if you wanted to, you can feel free to fill this out as well. I'm not sure, there might be some restrictions if it's non-TDSB emails. But anyways, if you haven't filled this out and you're a student, you can go down to the um, April 30th post on the stream on Google Classroom, April 30th, and click on that, and you can fill this out as well, okay? But just as an update, these are the responses, just so that you can see what it is that people have been saying, okay? And so we were talking about us doing about 2 lessons per week, okay? And so the majority of people, 80%, so 4 to 5 people, thought that we were doing just the right amount of work. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll just kind of do 1 lesson on Monday, 1 lesson on Thursday. Okay, and so one person also thought it should be maybe 1 to 3 worksheets per week. And so essentially what we are doing, I think, is about 1 to 3 worksheets per week. Okay, so just as a side note. But the delivery method may not be, it will be, yeah, so anyways, let's just talk about this next question. Okay, so the students have been getting their work packages in the mail. So I've received several responses from students, and they've been saying that they've been getting the work packages. So I'm hoping that most of you have been getting them, but I'm going to just keep proceeding just in case with a little bit of maybe taking notes down on the handouts and then doing the homework online through quizzes. Okay, so it seems like students and were very, very responsive to this sort of way of doing things. So taking the notes on the handouts. So if you have the handouts with you, you can just write down some answers. You can also look at the questions because I'm taking the questions that are online for quizzes. I'm actually taking them from the handouts. I'm not doing all of them just because it's quite lengthy. So I'm just trying to keep it more simple. And so I think that'll work better. Okay, so for example, I'm taking the questions from these work packages, right? And so from right over here, and then also on the subsequent pages. Okay, so just like on the last assignment, I actually put a note down on the PDF. I said there's no need to complete 93, 94, 95 pages like by hand, okay? So you don't have to use pen and paper for these assignments. Just complete the online quizzes. That way it also really helps with my marking because sometimes it's very hard to keep track of all the different pictures that you take. And so this is a really clear way of I can get the response right away, okay? If you want to continue practicing though, right, and if you're kind of bored or you just want to really solidify your understanding, please feel free to fill in all the worksheets, okay? And I know that there's one student in particular who would rather not do the online assignments, and I just spoke with that student like on the phone or through email. And so please feel free to do whatever makes sense for you, okay? So if you really want to just complete all the work handouts, feel free to, okay? But for that one student that wants to do that, I would say that in general, it's like a lot more work because it's a lot of worksheets, okay? So just do what you can. And then if you're able to, do the online quizzes assignment just because I feel like it's a really fun way of doing it that's like low stress, especially since you can practice over and over again. Okay, let me just go back to the feedback form. Okay, the last thing is that we are currently using both email and Google Classroom, okay? And so in general, so some people would just prefer Google Classroom, okay, 20% or one person. 2 people don't mind using either or both of them, and then 2 people would prefer that we just use email, okay? And so it's all over the place, to be honest. And so I think I'm just going to continue um, I'm just going to continue with Gmail and Google Classroom and email, okay, just because I know that a lot of parents are supporting their students at home. And so I think because parents were having trouble signing up on Google Classroom, that was a bit of an issue, okay? And so I'm just going to continue doing both ways. And then I noticed that no one said, please remove me from your email list. So I'm going to keep everyone on. Feel free if you're getting like too many emails and you just prefer getting Google Classroom, tell me and I can remove you from my email list. Unfortunately, these were anonymous, and so I don't know who it is that would prefer to just use Google Classroom. So if you are one of those students that wants to just use Google Classroom, just let me know and I will remove you from my email list. Okay, let's keep going with this. Okay, next up for quizzes, okay? When you are signing up for the quizzes assignments, okay, I want you to use your TDSB account, okay? Now, this means if you use your TDSB account, that means like, for example, first name dot last name at student.tdsb.on.ca. If you use that, I will get automatically updated with your results, okay? And then that way you don't have to worry about taking a screenshot of your marks, okay? If you use your own Gmail account or Hotmail or Yahoo account, I will not get automatically updated. Okay, now just in case you are confused, what you can do is, so first of all, everyone give yourself a pat on the back because I notice now that everyone has signed up for Google Classroom. Okay, so let's look at the people. So every single person now has signed up. There's just some parents and alternative emails, okay, that are on there, but every single student has signed up for Google Classroom. So I'm really, really happy about that. That's a really, really good student skill to have because most of your classes use Google Classroom. And so it definitely is a skill, right? Understanding how to navigate and get around and understanding these different tabs. Okay, so the stream posts up every single announcement. Okay, the Classwork tab tells you of the assignments. Okay, so these are 4 of the assignments that I've assigned to you through quizzes. These ones are all passed and don't even worry about them. Okay, it doesn't matter if you didn't complete them. If you completed them, I can count your marks for that. But if you didn't, it won't go against you. Okay, so please everyone, low stress, don't worry. Okay, I'm trying to also, I didn't realize previously that when you do a due date that you can't like extend it or whatever because I was just getting familiar with the program. So now I'm putting the due dates like 2 or 3 weeks later after I've assigned it. Okay, so just this morning I assigned this properties of nonmetals. Okay, so you'll notice that actually, cool, one of the students just did it. Okay, so when I look at this, so let me just, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. So I get all the students here and then it automatically grades itself. Okay, so if you use your Google your Google Classroom and your TDSB account, it will automatically grade the papers and then I can return it to you. Okay, and so please feel free, do them several times. Okay, so you watch the videos first and then after that you can do them over and over and over again, and I will take your highest mark. Okay. Next up, if you are confused and you don't know how to get into the quizzes. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the instructions. So I think what will happen is that if you were to click on this, okay, so when you go into the Google Classroom, the latest posts will be at the top, okay? Or you can go to the Classwork tab and then you could click on the top one right here. So today's lesson was on properties of nonmetals. Okay, let me just walk you through this because I think it's a little bit confusing. Okay, so you can, if you're using a mobile phone, use this. Okay, but I think most of you, it's easier if you use the web link if you're on a computer or on a tablet. Okay, and then feel free to have the lesson available. Okay, so for example, you can have this lesson available, and if you need to, you can look back on the notes. Okay, you can go back and forth between the lesson and the assignment. Okay, next up. Okay, so when I click on this quizzes web link tab, it will tell me to choose an account. Okay, so please everyone, if you don't have them saved already or whatever on your device, you can just enter in your first name dot last name at student.tdsb.on.ca. That is the best account to use, because if you use just a random account, I will not be given the feedback. Okay, so for example, this one student who has handed this in, this student used their Gmail, their TDSB account, and then it automatically updated my stuff. That way it's not less confusing for me. You don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about missed work. Okay. Okay, so when you go through this, quizzes will want to access your Google account. Okay, that's like your TDSB account. Okay, so you want to allow them to. What they're doing, quizzes is linking to our Google Classroom, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so after you see this, you just say allow. Okay, and then you can just start game, right? Now, one other thing that's really cool is take a look. This is a read aloud option, okay? So parents or guardians, if you are tired of like kind of sitting over the shoulder and reading these things aloud, you can click on this on the read aloud function, okay? And we can start the game, for example. Okay, so Nelson has tried this out. Awesome. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's actually reading these things aloud to me. Okay, it's like it's um, an auto-generated what's it called? Auto-generated voice. Okay, so if at any time you forgot to turn on the read aloud feature, you can actually just pause your quiz and then turn on the read aloud function even through here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so if you are confused, all you have to do is follow the links that are on the classroom stream under stream. If there's this blue sort of a clipboard, this is an assignment. Alternatively, if you want to just have a summary of all the assignments that we've had so far, it's right over here. Okay, sorry, I'm taking too long on this. Okay, next up, I just want to remind everyone about their marks. Okay, so I have emailed everyone their marks that were inclusive of all the things up to the March 13th date right before March break. Okay, so if you got a really, really high mark, I'm just letting you know. So I know some people are in like the 90s. Okay, so what will happen is that if you're in the 90s right now for your marks, it's pretty difficult to make the marks go higher, to be honest, just because you need to get 90 plus on all of your assignments in order to get them get the mark to go higher. Okay, so what I want you to do is if you're in a really high mark zone or like you're in the 80s, continue doing the assignments and you're doing it for your own knowledge. Okay, I will be definitely recording all the marks. Okay, and I will update them. And if it helps your mark go higher, it will go higher. If your marks are lower, no stress, it will not lower your mark from before. Okay, so even if you get, for example, let's just say you do the quizzes assignment, you don't do that well the first time around, you get 40%. The next time around, you get 60%. Then the last time, you get 100%. Great. Okay, but let's just say you try a few times and you're still getting, 60% or 70%. No worries. Okay, that 60 or 70% mark will not make your mark go down. Okay, so I always recommend that students do the work, okay? Follow along with my video assignments and do the quizzes, online assignments, okay? So if you had a lower mark though, let's say your marks were in the 40% because you missed some classes due to various reasons, or you didn't hand in that much work, or for some of you, you had a lot of work that was only half completed, right? So you can't get full marks for half completed work, okay? So for those students that are maybe in the, 30%, 40%, 50%, or 60% range, this is a real opportunity for you to catch up on, sorry, not to catch up on the work, but to increase your mark so that you can get higher and higher. Okay, so please everyone, don't give up. Even if your March 13th mark was a little bit lower, especially if you were like in the 30s, 40s, there's definitely a lot of opportunity so that you can still pass, okay? So just keep trying, okay? Keep completing the online assignments. Okay, so next up, the other thing is that on the PDFs that I'm emailing to you and that I'm posting up online on the Google Classroom, I'm linking everything directly. Okay, so for example, when you click on the little globe right here, okay, this is a direct link to my YouTube lesson from today. Okay, so it'll automatically go to that. Next up, whoops. Next up, if you click on so after you go through the lesson, listen to the video, blah, 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 maybe you do a little bit of the paperwork if it makes you feel more comfortable, okay? Then you go back to the front page of the PDF, okay? And then here it is. This should now be a direct link, okay? It should be the correct one, okay? Remember when you're signing in to sign in with your TDSB account, okay? So you have to make sure you sign in with your TDSB account, allow the permissions, okay? And it'll automatically update, okay? So thank you for listening, everyone. Sorry that took a long time. I hope that makes sense though. And please feel free to email me if you have any questions at all. Okay, everyone. So my next lesson will be on Thursday, and I think we're going to be basically we've finished off our chemistry unit. We're going to go into electricity, okay? So something to look forward to. Okay, everyone, take care. Have a good week. Bye-bye.